It's a beautiful day on Housing TV Africa. Welcome to the show. I'm Joyce Nwosu, and as always, I have the princess or the queen.
Are you for real? So what kingdom are you going to put me in that?
It's always a pleasure to do this
Thank
with you.
you so much, Joyce. You look calm. You look well rested. I hope you enjoyed the other days.
Of course. Do I have a choice?
You don't
How are you
have
doing
it. I'm very well, thank you. I'm very well. Welcome to the Good Morning Africa show. As usual, we do this, to bring you all the updated informations and everything you need to know concerning housing and, any other trending issue that is on ground. Welcome to the show.
So today we have the privilege of doing justice to a topic that might interest you. We're talking home ownership and parenting practices. Thankfully, we have Dr. Atinuke Fashogbo doing justice to this topic. It was in the news recently, the story that happened in the U.S., the 13-year-old who murdered her cousin. I mean, over what? A phone.
Over a phone.
And it just got me thinking that, today's parenting, I wouldn't know if what we got, growing up, the training we got, if applied today would also produce the kind of results that, is expected. But it's just shocking. It got me thinking, while thankfully we have someone who probably will be shedding light on some of these questions. At what age is a child supposed to have a phone? I have a friend who has a 10-year-old, Nana, and in her class, they're about 20-something. She's the only one that doesn't have a phone. Every other child in that class has a smartphone. For crying out loud, why would you give a 10-year-old or an 11-year-old a smartphone? Even if you have to communicate, you can actually have a stone phone. That's a phone that is not on the internet. There's a lot going on.
There's really a lot.
So our condolences to the family of Demaria Hollingsworth. It's really sad, really, really sad.
Really, really sad. You asked a question, a very good question, that if, the home training that we had back in those days with our parents, if those home trainings are being instilled on this generation, on children, I think, I wouldn't say the world would be a better place. But of course, yes, the world would be a better place because we all make up, the people in a society. And I noticed that this day parenting is totally different from what we had. I knew what I had as a child growing up with my mother.
But today's parents used to be yesterday's child.
I'm telling you.
So what happened?
What happens? Now, the thing is, I always ask this question, and I'm yet to get the answer. Is it that during our time when we were being trained, we were not comfortable with it, and then, we grew up, we're not having our own kids, and we're not instilling that same upbringing, that same discipline that we got from our, knowing fully well that our lives are what they are today based on the discipline we had. So is it that we don't see our children, we don't want our children to enjoy, because I call it, it was a good training. Because I know there are certain things I will not catch myself doing.
Yes, because I remember there were times you could be pampered. Like I grew up with my grandmom. There were times you could be pampered, really pampering, soft touch pampering. And there were times you could actually receive the caning you actually needed. So I really don't know why some parents are failing today. Yes, it didn't happen in Nigeria, but we also have cases
it's happening in Nigeria.
Of
course, yes,
where you have such issues. You have a 9-year-old, an 8-year-old, 4-year-old. I've heard stories, real-time stories. Some of these children already addicted to pornography and being introduced to some other things that you'll be wowed at.
I remember, really. I remembered growing up, my granddad will always make, a statement to us. He'll be like, at some point in your life, if you don't sit down and think that, are you sure this person that is with me is my mother, then you're not being trained well. That because it gets to a point you ask those questions based on,
the kind of
discipline you received, Well,
all right, so we'll go on a break. Don't forget our focus is home ownership and parenting practices. You really want to stay put. Let's take this short break on the I Can Make It segment. Stay with us. We'll be back.
are welcome. This is Simon and Samantha saying you can make it. I love you and thank you for always tuning into this program. And I want to let you know that God has a plan for your life. And I tell you, life will not give you what you deserve. Life will give you what you demand. You can make it today. Well, I started, if you have been following us, I started a long time and we're talking about life can only be understood backward, but must be lived forward. And one of the things I was talking about, the things we need to learn, with things we need to learn. And if you learn them, apply them, you will get the best of life. It was Isaac Newton that said, if I have seen above it by shining on the shoulder of them that have gone ahead of me. You learn every day. We learn from different things. So even spending time and you are looking at us on this broadcast tonight or today, you are learning. And I tell you something, we must just learn in life if we want to have the best of life. The next thing I will be sharing with you in this aspect of learning that we have taken upon ourselves to share with us, learn that is not, the one I want to talk about today is that learn that you should learn to depend upon your own life. Don't wish to be like other people. Life is not competition. Like I said, life is turn by turn. Just know that it will get to your turn. It doesn't matter what is happening. God will get to your turn. And there's a place that said it will overturn and overturn until you come to the one which right it is. It will overturn it. Now, another thing I want us to learn, you should learn to know, not to depend on other people. Always learn to be self-dependent. Many times a lot of disappointment come from where you put your trust in people. A lot of people have often complained, oh, you thought this one will do. You are always thinking that this one will do for you. No, you just learn to be self-sufficient. Learn to be dependent on yourself. Trust God with what you have. Yes, people can help you, but don't put your hope in humans. They that trust them, those that put their trust in men, will habit the pathway in the wilderness. They will not see when good cometh. So don't put your confidence in man. Believe men, but don't put your confidence in him. Because the people you actually trust can forget. They can actually forget you. I remember there's this young man many years ago that was interpreting dream, and he interpreted the dream of this man, and God helped the man, and the man was out of prison. But when the man has left, he forgot. Men will always forget. Men will forget. I mean, the time God will set them up to also forget. Because you put your trust in man, you will get offended. They will forget. So it is also God that make them remember. So the best thing is to trust God. Believe man, trust God. Don't forget what I'm saying. Believe in man, but put your trust in God. If you put your trust in God, God is the only one that will not disappoint you. Always have to stand. Don't be, don't always stand, always have to stand on what you believe and just continue. And I tell you, you will not be disappointed. Learn to be content with what you have. Learn to be content with what you have. It is said that godliness with contentment is great gain. Learn to be content what you have. Contentment will make you get the best. Aspire for a greater thing, but be content with what you have. Be happy. Thank God for what you have. A lot of people today, they are not grateful because they are always looking at other people. Oh, this person have just done this. Oh, this person have just done this. But what about the things that God is doing with your life? Learn to be content. Learn to talk to yourself. Learn to thank God about what God has made available for you. Learn to appreciate him for the things that he has done in your life. Learn to appreciate him for the children you have. This same thing that you have that you are not happy about is what somebody is believing God for and trusting God for. For example, there are people today, they are not married, but you that are married, you don't have value for your marriage. There are people today, they are married, but they don't have children. But some have children, they neglect their children. You can see our children on our streets holding some plate and begging. Now, these are same people, they are paying huge amount of money for IVF so that they can have a child. Learn to appreciate what you have. But when you constantly look out and you are not appreciative of what you have, you will neglect. And at the end of the day, it will lead to regret. Learn to appreciate, be content with such as you have. Learn that everybody is equal. Don't don't wish to be like other people. God does not make mistake in creating you. Listen to me. Don't bother to begin to look like, want to be like this, you want to be like that. No. Want to be all that God have made you to be. And as you do that, you will know that there's a plan of God concerning your life. You are unique. You are a special species. God have created you with all that he has. And I want to let you know, learn to appreciate you, that who God has made you to be. You are a man of value. And I want to tell you, learn that every action, there is an equal opportunity respond. Every action you take, there is an equal, response to it. So when you take action, always know that there is going to be a consequence. Learn not to worry much, because worry will not solve any problem. Worry does not solve any problem. You see, somebody that worry is like what faith is. When you have faith, you trust God and believe on. When you worry, you have disbelief and you can't move on. Worry make you sweat. Even when you are not running, you are just a rocking chair, you are not making any progress. So learn not to worry. Be careful for nothing. And one of the things that will make you not to worry is learn to think positively. There is a book I wrote some years ago, Living Positive in a Negative World. Every time around you, you see negative news, negative this, negative that, and everything that surrounds us sound negative. But I want to tell you something. Don't worry. I let you know. Worry cannot solve any problem. Worry cannot solve any problem. It is very important. So one of the way to avert worry is to think positively. And what I will advise you today is that learn to think well. Think positively. Think of what is good. Think of what is lovely. Think of what is of good report. Think on good things. Take good thought. Be deliberate by your thought. Don't dwell on the things that you don't have. Don't dwell on those things that push you down. Don't dwell on the things that make you have depression. It's this worry that make people and most of the things we worry about never come to pass. Most times it's the thing this worry that make people go into committing suicide. Worry that make people, you already form a picture. The enemy already give you a picture in your mind. Oh, people will shame you. This is what is going to happen. I remember a young girl that worry and kill herself just last month here. Why? Commit suicide because a lecturer will always fail her. I tell you something. Those obstacles that the enemy has put on your way, they can become a stepping stone. I like this thing, the Bible verse that always say, all things work together for good to them that love God and to them that are called according to his purpose. I want to let you know today, you can make it. Put worry aside. Worry does not help anybody. Worry will make you depressed. Worry will not bring out the best. Learn to put words into action. It's very important. Learn to put words into action, because a journey of 1,000 miles begin with one step. Learn. Don't stop worrying. Put your words, put action to your word. A lot of us, we take note, we hear, you are listening to me right now, you are hearing, you don't act on it. And until you act on it, you are like a man that doctor said, if you eat this food, you will not die. And they told you have just 3 minutes to live, or 5 or 10 minutes or 15 minutes to live. But they gave you food and say, eat this food now and you will not die. You say, oh, I believe that if I eat this food, I will not die. I tell you something, the food can be in your front. If you don't eat it within the time stipulated, you can die, even with everything to help you in front. That is how worry is. Let's cast away worry. Let's believe God and trust him for the best of our life. It doesn't matter the economic situation we find ourselves today. I tell you something, no matter the economy of the jungle, lion does not eat grass. I tell you, lion doesn't eat grass, and I want to tell you, you can make it, you can succeed. Always know the word impossibility is not part of God's plan. It doesn't matter. That word impossible is just impossible to you, but with God, all things are possible. Let's drop away worry today. And one last word I will want to tell you this month, this day before I leave the studio, is the worst prison in this, the word prison in this world is a home without peace. So as much as you can, live in peace with all men, with your wife, your husband, with your colleagues in your office. Live in peace. The worst prison in this world is a home or a place of work without peace. Be careful who you marry. Be careful who you marry. All fail, before you fall in love. All fail marriage Start from not understanding how you love to, dwell together with wisdom and knowledge. So be careful. The worst prison in this world is a place where there is no peace. I want to say we love you, and until I see you again in our next edition, this is Simon and Semota saying, you can make it. God bless you. Thank you for being a part of this edition.
Welcome back from that quick break. If you're just joining us, this is the Good Morning Africa show on Housing TV Africa. Our guest just joined us in the studio in person of Dr. Fashogbon Atinuke. She's an accomplished educator and the driving force behind Star de la Ville International Schools, where they have transformed education by addressing the needs of both children and the broader educational system. Dr. Atinuke combines academic rigor with innovative approaches to learning.
Her leadership extends beyond the classroom into entrepreneurship, where she successfully manages valued-made enterprise and a team lead at Tyrell Holmes Consult. Thanks for being with us, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me here.
Okay, so we're looking at home ownership and parenting practices. Before you came on set, myself and Memuna, we actually took, I don't know, it was a nostalgic, journey back into our childhood days, whereby we know the kind of training we got. And sometimes when you look at parenting today, there's a difference between what used to happen then and now. Before we get into all of that, now your profile says you make impactful changes in education, empowering the next generation of leaders. Tell us a bit about that. Going by the fact that yesterday's parenting and today's parenting, that seems to be a kind of shift. Although for some parents, I know some people still, put their foot down to say, no, you won't have your way. It's my way or nothing.
Thank you very much. You see, untrained parents are the one training they are the one training children now. You know, many parents, we have different generations of parents. We have the Gen X, we have the Millennial, and we have the Gen Z. Now, these different parents from 1970 to 1975, 74 to, or 69, thereabout, to 1984-5, you will see that those children, even without any instruction, it's like we were robots in those years, because you dare not do some things. But these days, oh no, my child, all of these things, parents didn't know that is coming back to them. They were shooting themselves in the leg. And many parents that didn't train their children, especially the millennium parents, they didn't train their children. They did not. I have seen a lot. We are school owners, we see a lot. Don't touch my child. They can withdraw children because of that. And by the time the child will now give it back to them, they will now be wondering where it was coming from, forgetting that the Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart from it. When we start building a child from the scratch like this, you will see that child have some characters. I always boast of this, and it's my pride. My children, they don't misbehave. My biological children and the children in my school, they don't misbehave. If any child comes into our midst and maybe that child says a foul language or says something, all of them will rush. Immediately is like a signal, like alarm, that everybody go to the muster point. It looks like that. Everybody will rush. So, auntie, this one said, the way they will say it, inside me, I will say, wow, these children, they know And if they see another child not wearing the same uniform or socks with them, they know it is wrong. And the hairdo, they know it is wrong. There are some things we do to make children. I use untaught lesson system, because untaught lesson sticks faster, but many people don't know. There is this will and strong hold of do as I do, not do as I say. I can practicalize that with you, telling you to touch part of your body, and if I miss a particular one deliberately, you will still follow me and do what I have done. If I say touch your chin is here, I may just touch my shoulder and say touch your chin or touch your eyes. You will touch this shoulder first before you realize that it was actually chin I mentioned. So that is how children operate. So it does not matter the year the children or the child is coming. What matters most is parents identifying their roles. What should I give this child at the formative years? What should this child know? Because by the time a child is formed, there is always difficulty in incorporating another idea or what. That is where you now see 13 years, 12 years misbehaving, and parents could not curtail it anymore. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that insightful one, Dr. Atinuke. Now, I would take out from, the things you have mentioned. You explained the 3 types of parenting that we have these days. But it will interest you to know that some parents were brought up well. But at the end of the day, it comes to their own children and they miss it. What can you say went wrong?
What went wrong? A lot went wrong. Is prioritizing. I knew when I wanted to start having children, I made up my mind I was not going to work for 8 years. It was a target I gave myself, and God answered it. Why I said I was not going to work for 8 years? Because I had understanding. I have seen and I have experienced, because I've been into this system since 1996, and I got married 2004. So I have already seen that if a mother or father is not available for children, they will miss it. But many parents feel they can outsource parenting. So a lot of parents outsource the parenting, forgetting that it is their duty. Like a child that says, "Mommy, carry me." Maybe she's going to work in the morning. Obviously, that child needs to be carried. Oh, and the obvious thing too, the mother needs to go to work. She's late. But what she would have done, she would have gone to the child earlier before the child will ask for it. She would have gone to the child and asked the child, "Oh, my baby, how are you? I'll be going to work. I'll do this, I'll do that." Like Yoruba, let me not just bring vernacular here.
No, it's fine. Please go ahead.
Say, nobody eats when you are filled. If a child had satisfaction of your attention, there is no how that child will be misbehaving. The misbehavior came out of maybe there was no attention. Let me destroy this thing so that I will call mommy's attention to it. Let me misbehave so that she will keep bothering herself. These children know what they are doing.
No.
So you will see them, they will spoil something. You will call your attention to it. You will come there, you say, you have time to say that. Why didn't you tell that child not to do it when you know you can prevent fire? So why are you buying a fire extinguisher? That's what children do for you. Thank you.
Okay, that's a good one. You said something really remarkable. Some people are outsourcing parenting. We'll come back to that. And then, when you mentioned something about the mind of a child being formed, when the child's mind is formed,
Formative
there's
years.
nothing you can do.
That
comes to an illustration in my mind. Before you make a cement, we're housing TV, so that actually could fit in. Before you make the cement, at that stage, you could actually, before it actually gets firm, and when you cannot actually twist the shape again, whatever form it takes, that's the form.
Whatever ingredient you want to add.
Whatever you put into it, and then it takes that form, it will be difficult for you to get another shape. You probably may have to destroy that particular
and
one.
build
We'll come
another
back to that. Now, since we're talking home ownership and parental practices, We'd like to find out, do the children of homeowners perform better in school?
Well, I will say yes. Yes, yes. I am a testimonial of that because my father already built his house before we moved in, and it was very stable. I would say stability helps learning. Once a child is not moved from one place at you just be moving a child, many parents don't know. Rolling Stone gathers no
Of
most.
course.
So they don't have an idea. They have misunderstanding in this school. They take their child instead of them to think. What they are invariably teaching that child is you can quit. You don't have to struggle. They are teaching that child many life lessons that don't worry, if anything is stressing you, just quit. Go to another one. Have you forgotten that there's problem everywhere?
Of course.
So you cannot run away from it. You just have to see what you can do to solve the problem. If you stay there, you are teaching your child problem-solving skills. And that child and thinking skills will increase. The child will think, what solution do I bring to this? And you increase the social value in the environment. You see, we played Suwe, we played police and thief, we played different games while we were growing, Tente, all of those things. We play catching, whatever, you know, and this will give us lifelong bonding. I know so many people that even in the US, we still meet, that we do not even remember our street again, but because we come together, we play sometimes in our compound, sometimes on the street, you know, all this play that these children of the today dare not. Parents follow them everywhere just to show.
And then because it's a digital world now,
Yes.
most of the games they play are
And it's
online.
more dangerous.
Yes,
It
very
is more dangerous.
More dangerous. Okay, so now this brings me to my next question. The family is a very necessary and sophisticated foundation in molding a child.
Okay.
And that is why we say that where you come from matters. What you do, you know, from that
goes a long way.
It goes a long way. Now, for parents that are, you know, working class parents, I know it's a bit difficult, you know, to juggle between work and trying to, you know, have that attention for your children so that they become better people, mannered people, you know, mannered children. I beg your pardon. So now my question is, what happens when in a home the father is not supportive in raising up these children? All of the burden is on the woman. You know, she has work to do. She has these children to take care of. And then she has maybe other family things to also want to channel her energy to, you know. I always don't want to accept it, but I know most times we women are always at the receiving end because we have a whole lot of things to carry.
One thing I always tell parents, especially women, you are more than enough. We are wired to multitask. We are wired to multitask. I wake up like somebody going to work. The fact that I said I was not working, I was working, but I was self-employed. I was doing my own work so that I can have time for the children. While they have gone to school, I go to my shop. I did a lot of businesses, but I will go to my shop just to make sure I am always there. When they are doing open day, I am there. When they are doing color day, I am there. When they're doing anything, I am there. I see their teachers, I ask questions, I say everything. Their homework, we always do it on Saturday. As in homework that they give, plenty homework on Saturday, we trash it because Sunday we are going out. We are going for picnic, we are going for one thing or the other. So I had fun and I enjoyed parenthood with my children. So we say, and there was no day my husband ever say, 1 + 1 = 2, come and put 3, come and put 4. And my husband is an engineer, a very talented and intelligent man, but doesn't have that time. He is not in school. He will say, you are the teacher, go and meet them. You know, so I kept doing it. I was doing it, and it became a pleasure, and it's helping my school right now.
Okay, so we'd like to know, tell us about some specific parental behaviors that could contribute to the positive outcome of the child.
There are a lot of parental behavior, just like I mentioned earlier, that these children just want to see what you are doing. They want to see what you are doing. Sometimes you come back, if you want to test that, if you have a 2-year-old, you know, toddlers, they are very sensitive. They know, put your shoe in a wrong place, they will carry it and go and put it in the right place. That is to tell you, children already know. And my children, once we come like this, all of us will remove our shoes. They know that once they remove their shoe, they sit on the pavement at the corridor to remove their socks. They put it in the shoe. And they carry their shoe, take it upstairs. All of them.
So they know that shoe you're bringing in.
So as they are coming from school, so it gave me an ample time to give my children some trainings that is giving me a big relief. I don't know when I went to the kitchen last. My daughters, everybody, if you like cook, if you like don't cook. But they will, no, they will do it. So I have a big relief. It is then I now knew that, I labored. But then I saw it as stress.
Of course.
It was stressful. I will tell you, I had headache then.
While we were, starting off the program today, we started off with a very, a very sad news of something that did not happen in Nigeria, but I bet you,
it could happen.
It could happen, and it's possible it has happened. It's just that maybe it's not out there for us to hear, And talking about the incident that happened in the U.S. with 8-year-old Di Maria that was murdered by her cousin because of an iPhone. Now, when is it an appreciative time to give a teenager a smartphone?
You give a teenager phone, they are teen. 13 is not even enough.
Good. I hope parents are
13 is not enough. The only phone you can give a child, even from 2 years or 3 years, is this Nokia phone, not Android. Not Android or iPhone. Because parents just want to create that validation that they are rich, that I have it. Let them see it through my son. Let them see it through my child. Not knowing that they are causing hazardous effect on their children, because these children will access internet, and by the time they access internet, it is not filtered.
It's another story entirely.
They see a lot of things. It has damaged a lot of children. It is the one we are seeing that we are talking that, no, I can go to bed.
That's a good one.
I can go to bed, because they themselves, my son said, I cannot be on Facebook. You people have spoiled it.
We have a lot of adults too that are not on Facebook.
If I have to keep my job, I have to be on Facebook.
I am always on Facebook too.
Okay, so it's the Good Morning Africa show. It's always a delight to know that we have you there watching. And we will do our bit, we'll do our parts to ensure that we bring you accurate information. Today we're talking home ownership and parental practices, the right one that helps you raise up that boy or girl that you'll be proud of. We'll take a break. It's the Good Morning Africa show. Please stay with us. We'll be back.
My name is Mrs. Mary Akimbami. I'm a Chief Marketing Officer.
Welcome back to the show. It's the Good Morning Africa show, reaching you from Hausa TV Africa. And we've been looking at home ownership and parental practices. Doing justice squarely to this topic has been with us Dr. Atinoke Fashogbon. Thank you so much, Ma, for your time so far. Now, moving on, let's go back to our discussion. Every parent certainly wants properly trained children. I'd like to ask, what's the most important clue in parenting besides communication? I know you've actually stressed on that, you know, ensuring that they bridge the communication gap. What other things should, you know, parents look out for? Thankfully, kids are on summer break, so it's a good time to.
Parental behavior can make a significant change or thing in the life